Welcome to the Nevis newscast for Friday, April 14th, 2023. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Premier the Honourable Mark Brantley on Tuesday, April 11th welcomed to Nevis Acting Ombudsman Cyprian Williams as he laid out his plans and programs for the Office of the Ombudsman for St. Kitts and Nevis. The mission of the Office of the Ombudsman is to independently, impartially and thoroughly investigate all complaints of members of the public against any administrative action of officers of government departments, public authorities and statutory bodies, and to make recommendations on ways of improving administrative practice and procedures and good governance that will further the development of the democratic process in St. Christopher and Nevis. The Ombudsman is appointed by the Governor-General after consultation with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. Premier Brantley pledged the full support of the Nevis Island administration and his office as Leader of the Opposition in the National Assembly, saying he wishes Mr. Williams success in his new position. He asked the public to lend its fullest support to the efforts of the Ombudsman. On Thursday, April 13th, the Department of Youth held a kite flying activity and fun day for some 150 children who are participating in the department's Easter Camp 2023. Dubbed Camp Inspire, the 2 weeks of activities are being held under the theme for Youth Month, Inspire to Aspire.
Today, we are here flying our kites. Now, the children started the Easter camp on Tuesday, and they immediately started by making kites. And this initiative would have been sponsored by the Honorable Troy Liburd, and we are now seeing the product of his initiative. As you can see, the children are absolutely excited about today's activity, and we love to see the smiling faces. This year, we registered 150 children ranging from age 5 to 16.
Director of the Department of Youth, Curtis Clark. Minister of Youth, the Honorable Troy Liburd, says he is happy to support the department and its activities for Youth Month in April.
Of course, you know that kite flying is one of our big traditions here on Nevis, and we want to ensure that the next generation can continue with that tradition. So I'm very happy to be associated with the Department of Youth and the camp. I want to congratulate Director Clark and her entire staff and all of the volunteers who have come on to assist in the initiative. We have 3 volunteers who came on to assist with the kite making, and then we have a number of other volunteers who are here with the entire camp. And I want to thank all of them for coming forward and assisting us. And you know, it's all good when the children have a lot of fun. That is what it is all about. So I want to continue to support our Department of Youth to inspire to aspire, right? That's what we're doing.
Camp Inspire will culminate with a series of field trips on Friday, April 21st. Cabinet Secretary in the federal government, Dr. Marcus Natter, paid a courtesy call on Cabinet Secretary in the Nevis Island Administration, Stedmont Truss, on Thursday, April 13th, to deepen cordial relations. According to the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service, their discussion included the similarities and differences in their respective cabinet policies and procedures, their roles and execution of their duties, and the possibility of fostering new relationships with other cabinet secretaries in the Caribbean region. Dr. Natter, who says it was a productive engagement, says it was imperative for him to meet with his counterpart, share experiences, and discuss best practices as it relates to their roles and responsibilities. The discourse was edifying, and they have pledged to maintain close communication between their offices to continue to build synergies in their work. Cabinet Secretary Dr. Natter also met briefly with Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, who welcomed him warmly and applauded his efforts to further strengthen relations between St. Kitts and Nevis. Dr. Natter was accompanied by Vashni Bell, Policy and Research Analyst in the Cabinet Secretariat. Still to come, taxpayers asked to update their data at Inland Revenue Department. New tax system upgrade pending. The details after this break.
The birthplace of Alexander Hamilton, my little 36 square mile island, is the home of the Bath Hotel, which is the first built hotel in the Caribbean. Don't forget to take a dip in the therapeutic Bath Springs. Take a few minutes to trot down to the ever-famous Sunshine's Bar and drink a world-renowned Killer Bee. Live Nevis naturally by exploring the magnificent waterfalls and hiking to the top of our 32 Nevis Peak. Our lush vegetation and landscape deems a visit here the perfect escape. Nevis, Queen of the Caribbees.
Welcome back. The Inland Revenue Department is upgrading its tax administration system and requires the immediate assistance of the tax-paying public to ensure that the new system is updated with accurate and relevant data. To achieve this goal, the department has launched a data cleanup and validation exercise. All taxpayers, including holders of driver's licenses and owners of vehicles, property, and businesses, are encouraged to partner with the Inland Revenue Department to update and/or validate their taxpayer information in one of three ways. Taxpayers will receive calls from the Inland Revenue Department. A list of designated numbers that are being used during the cleanup and validation exercise is available on the website sknird.com and the Inland Revenue Department's Facebook page for authentication. Government departments and institutions as well as businesses will be visited by officers of the Inland Revenue Department. Officers will interact with both business owners and employees to solicit and verify the required information. Or taxpayers conducting business at the Inland Revenue Department will be asked to update and validate their taxpayer information. Taxpayers will be required to provide personal and/or business details, mailing addresses, email addresses, and telephone numbers. Each taxpayer will also be required to provide proof of address and 2 pieces of government-issued IDs other than the driver's license to confirm his or her tax account information. The department also advises that it is also verifying the transaction data of taxpayers to ensure that account balances are accurate. For questions and/or clarification, taxpayers should contact the Inland Revenue Department. The St. Kitts and Nevis National Council on Drug Abuse Prevention is taking concrete steps to tackle drug abuse and its impacts on the society and continues to solicit feedback from relevant stakeholders on the development of the St. Kitts and Nevis National Drug Plan 2023 to 2028. The Council held its third round of consultations on Thursday, April 13th at the NEMA Conference Room in St. Kitts. It brought together stakeholders from various fields and departments for robust discussions on developing the 5-year action plan and identifying opportunities for collaboration across stakeholders. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Cecil Hull, said the development of the St. Kitts and Nevis National Drug Plan will guide the country along its path to full abuse prevention and widespread awareness. The National Drug Policy is one of the supporting tools that bolster the Ministry of National Security's efforts to curb substance misuse and illegal drug trafficking. It outlines the country's overarching goals and strategic action steps to attain realistic medium to long-term objectives in institutional strengthening, measures of prevention, treatment and recovery support, measures to control and counter illicit cultivation, production, trafficking, and distribution of drugs to address their causes and consequences, and the monitoring and evaluation, which has been proven to be an essential thematic area to ensure continuous quality improvement. Vice Chairperson of the National Council on Drug Abuse Prevention, Michael Morton, noted that the misuse and illegal trafficking of substances are often accompanied by violence, criminal activities, and public health challenges. They are counterproductive to national development and the overall well-being of St. Kitts and Nevis. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. I'm Donis Wilkinson-Keynes. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.